And the album, Nine Lives, it took a lot of time changing of certain people like producers, because you started off with Glenn Ballard, you know, from Alanis Morissette, and afterwards you went to Kevin Shirley. Why that change?
Well, because we got to some place down in Florida that was different than Aerosmith is used to being. And our drummer wasn't there with us. And so when Joey got well, we decided to cut the record all over again and just kind of dump the project. So.
But you did keep the songs, like
We kept the
Love's Hard on
songs.
Your Knees.
We just re-recorded them.
We didn't rewrite anything. I think that we went to places in Miami that we'd never been before, which was really a big part of this record. It's basically the blueprint of what we did in New York. I mean, we redid leads, we redid, I mean, you know, the writing and the creative part was fantastic in Miami. So it was great working with Glenn, you know. It just, that, you know, like Steven said, a big part of it not sounding the way we wanted to was Joey not being there. So we brought that energy to New York, and it was, and it's what you hear now.
But he is on the record in the end, isn't he?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
You redid everything?
Everything.
Really?
Everything.
Yeah, and we were having a problem with that up until the end too. I mean, we were still listening to some of the tapes from Miami that Joey had actually gone in and played on, and we were still like A-Bing them right to the last minute when we were, well, we have to decide today, as they were mastering the record. In fact, we had mastered the record with some of the stuff from Miami, and then we still went with the New York stuff at the last minute. It was a hard process because we really loved the stuff we did in Miami too.
Okay.
You know, it was hard.
But you're happy with the album now? Mm-hmm. Are you really proud of it, or is it just another Aerosmith album, honestly?
No, I mean, when you write a bunch of songs and you try to, you know, bring them to fruition, which means, you know, laying on the leads and double tracking and putting an acoustic guitar on and finishing the vocals, you know, you get so attached to it that you're really proud of it. And then when you hear that big picture of coming out of the studio with all the, you know, the stuff on it, you know.
It's a delicate thing, you know. We really, we tried, like I said, we tried to bring a lot of what we did in Miami and put it in on the New York stuff. I was talking to a reporter the other day that was talking about the record, and he said that he really liked the record, listening to it on his stereo, but then when he put his headphones on, it really blew his mind because, you know, and he was commenting on it, and we spent a lot of time thinking that a lot of people listen to the record with headphones because they have their Walkmans or their Discmans or whatever, and they're you know, walking here to there to their jobs or whatever, and they have the headphones on, and we're thinking about, like, you know, with your eyes closed, what a picture that makes. So that's an important part of the mixing thing. It's a detail, you know. Some people might not spend that much time doing it like that, but that's another one of those things that was good to hear from him, that he noticed that.
Well, I noticed it too because my stereo broke down. This is not a joke. My stereo broke down, and I had to put it on headphones. And what really blew me away was the beginning of the CD. Is that really you, the meowy
cat?
thing, or
Yeah.
is that technical?
No, that's the kid.
It is?
Yeah.
I was really surprised by that. I'm like, oh my God. This is
I've been
really
making
great.
that noise for years with my kids, you know, and it's just one of those things where I finally got it on record. It was like the burp on Eat the Rich. But we thought of calling this record Ear Candy because we did a lot of hard right panning and hard left, you know, with voices like in The Farm coming out of the right speaker only, coming out of the left speaker, and then right up the middle. So we had a lot of fun with the record.
I can imagine that. And you made a lot of albums. Do you ever listen to your own albums, older albums?
Oh, yeah. In fact, I had one of my habits and hobbies is to wait till the summertime, you know, and then go out and sit by the water somewhere and listen to, you know, Pump or something. And it just brings back a wave of emotions, you know, that went on during that time period.
I can imagine that because I've got picture books, you know, like to say, oh, look at me then and look at me then, and you got like music to go back in that. It must be really great.
It definitely brings back a picture of where you were, you know, like when I listen to Back in the Saddle, I'm right back in the room when I wrote the riff. I mean, I can close my eyes and feel the room and feel it. Or like when I listen to, at night when we're playing Dream On, I close my eyes and I'm back in the house in the suburbs in Boston when we were working on those things, you know, and it's just like that. It's a little picture of where we were.
And that's the good news because you're hearing it, you know, and so it sets your mind off. And so every time I listen to the record, you know, I can actually access a different thought. You know, it's not like a video where you see the same picture all the time. And you're really tied to that.
This is the music factory.